Hi, my name is Keating, and if you're looking at this video, I'm sure that you're interested in knowing a little more about what I do. And so I'm going to take you through the Fremlin House. It's a project I've been working on the last couple of years. It's a Victorian-style home, and let's just go take a look, and we'll see what's up. Okay, come on, let's have a look. The house is in not a completed stage, and you'll see the work is largely the work is mainly unpainted. So it's a work in progress. It's a little bit messy, but we just have a little bit of time here, so we just want to take you through the house. And the first thing I think that we'll look at straight away is the main room. And what we've done here is introduced a classic Victorian crown mold. In terms of the processes in building, it's important to remember that I make all the moldings, arrange them, and customize them to utilize the space that is available, and that's the key. The main feature in the home you'll recognize are the two arches. And what's interesting about these arches is that they are just a classic example of Victorian woodworking. And the key elements, of course, are the columns. The columns generate the entire size and proportion of the piece. And the pilasters are a reflection of the column. We copy moldings and that sort of thing. So this is really the genesis of the whole project. And in fact, it was the initial design key that the clients had given to me to start working with. So I designed something up and customized it from the beginning. Some of the finer elements would be that the column, as I said, is the basis, and the pilaster is a reflection of that. That the beam is proportionate and is a good size for this space that we have here. All parts are incomplete in that there's a round column with a pedestal, proper bases, and good spacing. I'm very proud of these pieces, and they do a lot for this place. The room that we have out here is just a bit of we call it a screened-in porch. Once again, we just locked onto a little bit of historical roots to to carry the theme here. And we have the feature in this room would be the beaded ceiling, which is really a throwback to the old days where we would have had an added-on porch, and this beadboard would have been continuous right through to the veranda. So I pulled from that history, and we've used the beadboard here and created a more casual look, because the Victorian work, although it is beautiful, can be a little bit austere, a little Puritan. So the beadboard was an effort to warm things up a little bit. Now, at the end of the room, and what is the main feature, is the fireplace. Okay, it's a fireplace. I think it was imported from Ireland or somewhere like that. He got it from Europe. Very expensive. And once again, it's a work in progress, so I'm not sure how much of this will show up that well. But it was, in fact, the big mistake of this place. And I just want to point something out, that it really wasn't planned to work out this way. You'll notice that the fireplace does go almost all the way up to the ceiling. Well, that was, in fact, a mistake. And that the crown molds didn't really have enough room to carry across. They would have been obstructed by the floral pattern. And so the owner, who by this time had a lot of confidence in me, said, "Don't worry, Keating, you'll figure something out." So what you'll notice if you back up and just take it all in here is that the top of the floral, eclipses the bottom of the bulkhead. And so what was required there was a way of navigating the molding across the top of the fireplace. So what I did is I introduced the column caps, and that allowed me to return the moldings and let them die on a background. Then I took the bed molding and I converted it to a feature molding and incorporated the keystone just for a feature. The projections were just based and delivered from the floral, and what made sense there. Okay. So now we'll just go into the main room, and this is a bit of a mishmash. I can't say that it's an area that I'm particularly proud of, but I mean, I really had to deal with the cards. I had to play with the cards that I was dealt here. It was a little bit claustrophobic, a very asymmetrical situation to have to deal with. I did my best. I suppose it can be we just basically once again worked from the arch and carried a wainscot, which is just a continuation of the main arches. Now, as we got into the staircase itself, I think I started generating some, better pieces. I think we're having a look now at the main post. And once again, it's in an unfinished state. At the end of the day, the handrail will be stained very dark to match the treads, and the post will be painted white in classic Victorian style. One of the main aspects of this particular handrail, of course, is that it's what I call a continuous handrail, in that the handrail becomes the crown cap. It's a very attractive style. I use it on most of my projects, and it has been very effective. It's also very user-friendly, very comfortable. Your hand is able to descend and roll across the top. It's very friendly, and it's a great way to approach your work. Of course, the curves. The curves do an awful lot for the area. It just provides an openness, and once again, it allows for a user-friendly situation. And it's quite surprising how much a very subtle curve that opens up into the room allows for a more comfortable appreciation of the piece. It's really something I like to do and do a lot of. I think we'll just cruise into the library. The library was kind of an add-on. And it's a good piece. It's really quite interesting. Once again, what we did here, I had to pull teeth to get my client to go for this. We had originally just intended to do a crown mold, but it was inadequate for this situation here. And he didn't really have a room that did a whole lot of work. Important for a home of this size and caliber to have a library area and an office that he could receive clients and fellow businessmen. To give a more purposeful atmosphere to the whole scenario, so he can have drinks and whatever you want here. The styling, of course, is consistent with what we've done with the arches. It's just been reduced to a smaller degree to allow for the treatment of the gables, which is the larger. I don't know. It's just it's a way of beefing up the project to give it a real built-in look, and it really adds to the solidity, and it allows for the moldings to be incorporated and to continue with the style. I think the surprising thing about this piece is that it was originally intended to feature a beaded floral pattern up on just below the frieze board, and I had provided space for it. But quite interesting, when I got into the piece, the central feature very quickly became the passageway, and I hadn't anticipated that in the drawing originally. So having recognized that, what I did at that point is that I began to focus my attention on the passageway as the focal to the piece. And I don't know if it translates into the video itself, but certainly on location it does. And if we can have a quick look at the passageway, I decided to arch the ceiling. That would be a very elegant way of treating this passageway, and it's really fantastic here. Everyone responds to it very, very well. And it's just classic workmanship, dome ceiling, and so this just goes to show you how, in many cases, the work is a process. That what you see in a working drawing isn't necessarily the focus that will be that will occur when the product is there, in fact. So in many respects, the work is like this. It's a process in many regards, and you can't always predict where your eye will land until you build it. Paper is different than the real thing, but it's a good piece and everyone seems to like it. Okay. So we're going to go upstairs, and of course I made the stairs. They were kite stairs. That was a great production. And as we go up the stairs, I think what we'd like to look at very, very quickly is the paneling arrangement. Now, and I know it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to see here, so I'll try to help out a little bit by explaining the genesis of the paneling up here. And I think why it's important to mention this is because this is really the foundation of everything that I do, and I think it's important to classic woodworking. And that is that the woodworking impart the structural integrity of the building. To that end, if we can come up into the stairwell, I'll get that. If we can come up into the stairwell, you'll notice that there is a broad horizontal band, and that corresponds